Hey indie game fans! A bumper crop of absolutely fantastic indie games were released in August, so much so that I have to expand the top 5 into a top 10. I'll go through the obvious picks first, followed by a couple of surprises down the list. The previously covered Graveyard Keeper is a medieval cemetery management simulator with a dark sense of humor and a very compelling gameplay loop since you constantly get rewarded with items and bits of XP to keep you going. Of course, do check out the previous video on this. Speaking of previously covered games, SpookyGhosts.com is a bite-sized Metroidvania with a Halloween theme. I love the exploration, boss fights, unlockables and upgrades, basically all the essential components of a great one of these, so do definitely check this out. The sequel to local multiplayer smash hit Overcooked. This adds more chefs, more recipes, more wacky stages, and the ability to throw ingredients. I really enjoyed the chaotic fun of the first game and the satisfaction from successfully working together to 3-star a level. So with an expanded sequel with even more stuff, this was a no-brainer for the month. Another sequel makes the list, and this time it is for one of my all-time favorite indie games in Guacamelee. The Mexican Lucha Libre themed Metroidvania has fantastic exploration, challenging platforming, combo-licious combat, and a world which was excellently constructed. The sequel expands upon the multiverse concept with time-traveling madness, adding yet another layer to the game. The Messenger was a very late entry in August, but did not fail to impress, garnering high scores from various review outlets. Wearing its Ninja Gaiden inspiration on its sleeve, this is a retro-inspired platformer with a hook that allows for transformation of art style between 8 and 16-bit, and the eventual opening up of Metroidvania elements. Dead Cells is the embodiment of early access success and was a game which I had my eye on ever since I covered it last year, which even then, I had very good feelings about. Describing itself as the pioneer Roguevania or roguelite Metroidvania, the combat fundamentals are very slick and feel very awesome, and the roguelite progression of obtaining cells to unlock and upgrade items and skills was such a compelling loop, well deserved of all the praise that it got.
What is a whole? Philosophers disagree. Is a whole a thing? Or is a thing whole? A question for poets, perhaps. Me? I'm just a raccoon.
Another late entry in the month, Donut County, is a puzzle game where you control a hole in the ground, which gets larger every time something falls into it. A curious and weird experience, the highlight of the game has to be its writing and humor with very funny descriptions of everyday items. I think the developer, one Ben Esposito, also jokingly brought up some very philosophical implications of a whole, in that is a whole a thing, or is it the absence of something, which is fun to think about. Alright, so moving on to the more obscure titles, Death's Gambit is a 2D Souls-like action platformer, perhaps along the lines of Salt and Sanctuary. It was perhaps a case of bad timing, since it released just after the very fluid feeling Dead Cells, but in its own right, Death's Gambit really looks to ape the Dark Souls formula and does it pretty well. While the stamina-based combat can be a chore, it did give me a sense of weight to the combat, and I did enjoy my time with this game. Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass is a turn-based RPG which is perhaps as close to a modern Earthbound as we can get. Our main character can transform into several of the monsters that he meets along the way, including a flower and a bird, which has implications on the exploration and puzzle elements. Good old turn-based combat is present, and the weird characters, enemies, and world does make this look pretty interesting. And finally, Lucah, Born of a Dream, is an action RPG with a very unique art style which I love the look of. Our protagonist is cursed to have his inner demons and nightmares literally come to life, which he must then fight and endure in a quest for purification and to lift the curse. With a unique blending of ranged and melee attacks, magic, familiars and more, the action is smooth and the combat visuals stunning, so for a great character action game, check this one out. Anyway, that will do it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, follow my Steam curator, and check out the subreddit to keep up with the best indie games, and I will see you in the next video.